things that I said earlier today. As the mayor of Philadelphia and as the president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, we put out a statement earlier today, both expressing our deepest sympathies to all of the people of Newtown, Connecticut, certainly to the selectman or mayor and governor Malloy, who is a friend, former mayor in Connecticut. This is a deeply, deeply saddening moment. It is, as President Obama expressed earlier today, our hearts are truly broken. We think about these things not just as government officials or elected officials, but many of us, of course, as parents and caregivers and those who look after children. I think of my own children, of course, both Olivia and Christian, and I cannot imagine the pain that parents and siblings and classmates for these students and the adults who were killed. I cannot imagine what they are all feeling. It is clear that we have obviously a very deeply troubled individual who, again, as we've seen in other incidents, or most recently comes to mind, massive amount of firepower. Numerous people have indicated, at least through news accounts, that they think that maybe upwards of 100 rounds fired. And again, that's the kind of firepower that kills 26 people, 20 children, and 6 adults in a rapid fire fashion and in a very short period of time. I think the only real question that most Americans are wondering right now is, what will it take and when will there be serious, legitimate action by the federal government, by the Congress, to have reasonable, rational, constitutional gun laws and gun regulations that ensure the safety of people in the United States of America? This is outrageous, and this is a particular type of evil that we just can't stand for. And so, as I said earlier, the time for debate is really over. There are too many cases, there are too many examples of why action is needed. And whether it's updating and improving the background information check system, whether it's dealing with large magazines and the weapons that can hold those, whether it's the assault weapons ban, all of these measures are more than reasonable. Most people do not need the kinds of weapons that we see time after time after time in these situations and circumstances. And so whether it's in Newtown, Connecticut, or the streets of Philadelphia, this death and destruction must come to an end. And I think the American people are right to be angry, to be outraged, to be fed up with the level of inaction around these issues. And so I certainly join with President Obama in calling for action in this particular regard, that the Congress must respond to the will of the people, not special interests, and not those who perpetrate and perpetuate this death and destruction with these, what I refer to as weapons of mass destruction. They are killing Americans, and today, adults and 20 children. What will it take for adults to stand up for children in America? That's the real question. Time for action is right now. So again, we are very, very saddened. Our hearts go out to all the folks out there and to all victims of violence here in Philadelphia, across the United States of America. We can do better. We can be a better country. But that requires courage, that requires action, and the time has come.
What would you like to see specifically in regard to gun control? I know you said you side with the president, but any specifics?
Well, for one, there's no reason in the world for anyone to have an assault weapon in the first place. As we saw again in Colorado, and we're hearing more about the weapons that this individual had. Obviously, high-capacity clips that can fire a number of shots in a very, very rapid period of time. There's only one point for those weapons, and that's to kill people. It's to hurt as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. Those weapons should not be available to anyone other than military or law enforcement. It's also clear that the national background check system is not fully up to date. It is not fully operational. It does not have all the information in it that we need to conduct proper background checks. The large capacity clips, again, no need for a civilian to ever have that kind of firepower. And so those are some of the reasonable things that can be done, that should be done, that must be done to stop this kind of death and destruction. This is a despicable kind of evil that would cause someone to go into a school, pre-K to fourth graders. They didn't do anything. They don't deserve this.
And I know parents across the country, you mentioned being a parent yourself, are holding their kids a little tighter tonight. And
I will when I get home.
And also, wondering about their own school safety. You're confident Philadelphia schools are safe?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a very isolated incident of a tremendously disturbed individual. And working with Police Commissioner Ramsey and the Chief Inspector from the Philadelphia Police Department over at the schools, and of course Superintendent Height, whenever you have these kinds of situations, you certainly review all of your process and procedure, but I mean, there's no reason to think certainly that just because that happened in Newtown today that suddenly there might be something here in Philadelphia. But I think it is a reminder that we must always be watchful, we must always be vigilant, and again, if we would just have, some of our elected officials would have the courage of their conscience to do the right thing, to not be overwhelmed by the special interests, to not be intimidated by the various lobbying groups and organizations, and do what is required by our oath, which is to make sure that our constituents are safe. There's no conflict between reasonable gun laws and regulations and the Second Amendment. That is such a false debate. And those children, those adults, they had a First Amendment right to peacefully assemble in a school and do what they wanted to do. We cannot allow those voices, which are clearly in the minority, to outweigh the public safety.
Anyone else?
No, good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.